we do know from earlier today, they did some talking about Season 1, what we're going to expect in Season 1. A lot of stuff. If you guys haven't went and watched that video, I would plan on going to check that out. They talk about Season 1, it's like Malignant or something weird. I don't know. But a lot of cool changes coming in Season 1. We'll probably make a video on it at some point, but today it's all about the patch notes of what we're going to experience today. One major thing I can tell you is get a character. What's up, Turhall? One thing I can tell you is get a character up, get your renown grind done, get your map laid out, get all that bullshit done, your little statues, etc. Get all that done on a character. Keep that character safe. Log into it on the 18th because that character will drag that progress through all of the seasons. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work. So, that out of the way. Patch day. See what we got for the patch day. What's up, Hosky? You beautiful friendos. So we had some bug fixes today, guys. If this is too small, let me know. I'll, you know what? Here, we'll just zoom in regardless. I'll go over the top few. It'll be my head's covering it, but that's fine. So they fixed an issue with the damage multiplier of Enhanced Frozen Orb not applying correctly. Go on the Sorks. Almost called you Forks. Fixed an issue where enemies with the Vortex affix would deal damage through immunity. At the end, that just terrifies me because how many other enemies out there are doing damage through immunity? Oh, it's a little scary. So they fixed an issue where the Elixir of Expertise was reducing resource cost by 10% instead of 20%. All right. Fixed an issue where the damage bonus from the Paragon Subdue glyph would be applied to any target instead of only vulnerable targets. That's kind of a nerf then. Fixed an issue where the Barbarian's Whirlwind ability would briefly stop channeling when a cooldown skill was cast upon using it. So I was actually talking about this with my friend Tony. He plays Whirlwind Barb. I was talking to him, and he said this is like a nerf to the gore hands. You know, the things where you would stop and make the explosion happen. So I'm guessing that Rob264 guy, whatever his name is, he's not too happy about this change, I'm guessing. That was his baby. It is what it is. Fixed an issue where the guaranteed overpower buff from the Barbarian's Earthstriker aspect would be consumed upon gaining any other buff. Yeah, you don't want that to happen. That's kind of a buff. Fix an issue where the player character would freeze when using the Rogue Shadow Step skill if used outside the range of your intended target. All right. I'd never actually used Shadow Step on my Rogue, so glad that that's solved. Fixed an issue where the player could not rotate when casting a channeled skill if using a one-handed weapon with no offhand. Weird bugs. Fixed an issue where the cursed scrolls and Fields of Hatred had a lower cooldown than the displayed 5 minutes. Fixed an issue where aspects that deal flat damage imprinted through the Codex of Power scaled with player level instead of item power. Okay. That's actually kind of a bigger deal here. This is bigger than what it kind of reads. I was noticing that with some of my aspects on my my druid. So now that this is different, it's probably a better change, honestly. Fixed an issue where the Necromancer Shadow Mages weren't applying extra shadow damage to the Shadow Blight key passive. Necromancers, you got your key passive corrected. Fixed an... Oh my. Fixed an issue where cheat death effects would not trigger if you died while mounted. Fuck them horses, man. What can I say? The hell with them horses. We don't want to use horses in hardcore. Don't care. Do not care. We actually seen this. The real one actually died to this. Quest and dungeons. So we got here. Fix an issue where a traversal wouldn't appear during the Blind Eye quest blocking progression. Don't know about that one. Fix an issue where the Mother's Judgment enemy would spawn before the player entered the encounter during the Whispers of the Past quest. Man, I'm kind of scared that some of these... I have read on certain forums that some quests were spawning enemies and you would be attacked during a cutscene. It's actually scary. Makes you want to skip all cutscenes in hardcore. Fix multiple issues where quest progress will be blocked if a player used a town portal during specific sequences. That kind of sucks. Glad that's fixed. Fix various issues that prevented progression from multiple quests. Okay. Fixed an issue where teleporting to Wedgenhoney during the Witch of the Waste quest would force the player to drop the vial of Quicksilver despite the town being an allowed area for the quest. This was this is what Hosky was complaining about the other night. Remember when Hosky was just like, I gotta run all the fucking way back? Yes. You don't have to do that anymore. If we just waited one more day, Hosky, you would not have had to make that run. Damn. They fixed it though. Fixed an issue where the Cultist Refuge, Howling Warren, and Lubin's Rest dungeons could not be completed if the Butcher appeared and was not killed. I have a story about the Butcher for today. You know, I'll tell you guys the story right now. I'll tell you after we finish these next two. They fixed an issue where the Treasure Goblin slain in Nightmare dungeons with the Death Pulse affix would deal significantly more damage than intended. This is, of course, that video of the one person who died to the Treasure Goblin. I don't remember your name, hero, but I feel for you. I think that was the only person that's ever died to a goblin. But you know what? You are solidified in history now, sir. What's up, Ires? Let's see. Last one here. So they fixed an issue with the Mirage quest. Couldn't be completed properly. Okay, so it does quests and dungeons and bug fixes. There's not much left. There's just UI, miscellaneous, and a few gameplay adjustments. We'll go over those pretty soon. But yeah, I have a story about the Butcher. So I was helping my friend Frank out, getting some levels earlier, and bumped into the Butcher. He was a couple levels above me. We were doing a Nightmare dungeon. I think he was like 67, and I was 64 or something like that. I think he was like 3 levels above me. Anyway, so we bump into the Butcher. And as a druid, as a pulverized druid, you get a lot of your damage based around hitting a lot of enemies, right? The more enemies you hit, the more chances you have of the might proc going off for you, right? So initially I'm thinking to myself, all right, I need to drag this fool around a little bit and do some AoE damage. We had Avenger as the Nightmare dungeon thing. And if you don't know what Avenger does, every time you kill an enemy around other enemies, the ones that survive get bigger and stronger. And yeah. I didn't take the chance to screenshot it, but we had a Butcher that was like, he was big. It was kind of cool, actually, but we had a Butcher that he was big. And he hurt. We ended up killing him, but he hurt. Anyway, that's my Butcher story. So, watch out when you fight a Butcher around a bunch of enemies if you have a Avenger mod. He does get a little rowdy. This was only in World Tier 3, so he didn't have a life leech either. All right, let's continue on here. UI. Fixed an issue where the QR code used for account linking on console was improperly sized, which made scanning it difficult. Okay. Speaking of, for everyone on Twitch right now, go to your inventory, link your account. You can get a free mount right now. Let me just bring it up again so I know what I'm talking about. If you go to Twitch and you click Prime Gaming Loot, if you're a Prime member, you can get a Brackish Fetch mount armor bundle. I think it's like the shittiest looking mount armor, but you know what? It's free. So if you have a Prime account. So claim that to your account right now if you haven't. I'll send a link in chat right now. You guys can look at it through that. So if you haven't claimed that yet, go ahead and do that. And yeah, it's like $10 or something. Something like that. Anyway, moving on. Fixed an issue where the imprint cost for legendary aspects would be inaccurately displayed. All right. Fixed an issue where console players would be unable to navigate the shop after using the buy more platinum button. God damn. Glad that's working, boys. Fix an issue where the upgrade glyph tab would close after moving away from the awakened glyph stone. Fix an issue where a skill unlocked by item contribution did not have an assigned skill button. Okay. Fix an issue where trading a partial stack while playing with a controller would display a full stack in the tooltip. We've actually bumped into that one a little bit. I play with controller a lot. They fixed an issue where the weekly reward cache for defeating a world boss. I knew this was weekly, damn it. We had people in chat arguing this shit with me like 2 weeks ago, and I told them this is fucking weekly. I know exactly the person that did it, too. We don't see him too much anymore, but yeah. I knew it was weekly. It would display as available if there was an active whisper for defeating the boss, even when the cache had already been claimed previously. Miscellaneous. Doggo wants to come in. You want to say hi real quick, Mika, before we get to miscellaneous? Come on. There you go, sweetie. Mika's been acting up today, boys and girls. I think her tooth is starting to hurt her a little bit, maybe. Is that it? Is it your tooth? Well, sweetie, we're getting you scheduled to go in for a visit, okay? We're getting you scheduled to go in for a visit, okay? You thought the cash was a random drop? No, it's a weekly drop. There you go. You want to lay him? Mika wants to lay in my lap today. Miscellaneous. Fixed an issue where the NPC Arlo couldn't be interacted with. Fixed an issue where the Fields of Hatred Killer cosmetic set was missing helmets for the Druid, Necromancer, and Rogue. They fixed an issue where the cost of the Sturdy Saddle cosmetic from the stable vendor would scale with the player's level. Really? I spent $5 million on this. Blizzard, I'm going to need some due recompense here. I spent $5 to $6 million on this thing. Okay. Fix an issue where players could lure the Seething Abomination boss in the El Zudu Fields of Hatred zone to a location where they could damage it, but it couldn't damage them. Interesting. Fixed an issue where mount cosmetics would not display properly display if applied while actively mounted. Fixed an issue where the camera would pan from the point of death back to the respawn point instead of instantly moving for players in local co-op. Interesting. We never played local co-op, so we don't know about that one. Fix an issue where the player and NPC would disappear during a dialogue sequence if the player was actively under the effect of a conduit shrine. Demonic trickery strikes again. Various localization files localization fixes, various other interface and accessibility improvements, further stability, performance, yada yada. Fix an issue where transmogs on offhand for Sorks would reset upon performing an inventory action. Any inventory action. Oof. And the last bit is gameplay adjustments. Helltide chests can now drop uniques. Lodi-do. We all, I believe, thought that Helltide chests could drop uniques because we were told by good old Reddit at some point. Oh, how they know their stuff over there. Anyway. The bosses, Vinard, Brawl, and Cyrac, have had their health pools and damage output reduced. Okay, apparently I was giving people troubles. And last but most importantly, not least, the cap for crafting materials has been increased from 9,999 to 99,999. Slap a digit on it. Fixed it. fixed it. Good little patch fix here. I mean, it's nothing major. I mean, some of these are major. Like, don't get me wrong. This fixing an issue where cheat death effects would not trigger if you died while mounted. That's a big one. That one's huge. I think the barb one too, where they stop. I think that's pretty big. I don't play a barb right now, but I'm imagining that's pretty nice. Obviously, some of these fixes too are pretty nice, but the cheat death while mounted is stacking to 9,000 from 9,099 to, or whatever the fuck, 9,999 to 99,000 plus. That's a big change. Because it's annoying, man. You know how many veiled crystals and raw hides I've been passing up? You know what they need to change? You know what they need to change? Whenever you go to craft rawhide into superior leather and you can only do it in increments of 20. Who came up with that idea? Why 20? That's all I ask. Why 20? It makes no sense. But you know what? As they said earlier today, they're working on things. Have patience. So I will have patience. This is another good step in the right direction. I mean, we're getting patches laid out. So that's the important part. You ready to play a game? Let's play.